I feel like this is a trap.
Well, we did actually receive your application to replace Stephen in the podcast.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got that.
What qualities and what credentials can you bring to this podcast?
Firstly, I don't blame you for wanting to get rid of Stephen. I think that's been on the cards for a while now.
Why is it the right decision to get rid of Stephen now?
I just don't think he's built for the podcasts, to be honest.
He's got a face for radio.
He's got a face for radio. He belongs behind the camera, away from the microphone.
But what is it that you can bring to the podcast?
I think I've got a natural talent for speaking, you know, whether that's on the phone, into a microphone, to my peers. I think I've just got that gift of the gab. So that speaks for itself, essentially. So
yeah, I noticed in your CV that you sort of highlighted you've gone viral a couple of times.
I do have a few tweets that have made front page of national newspapers, like just by having my at Darren Law 712 username associated to the podcast. There's a wee plug for my Twitter account there.
Yeah.
Associated to the podcast, then that will only help it grow.
If there was a section to be about you in the podcast, what would that be about?
I think about my journey at Class4Kids so far. I think it's a very inspirational one. I think it would bring a lot of tears to people's eyes, some of the trials and
very emotive.
Tribulations, but it would be very motivational. So yeah, I would love to just talk all about me.
Maybe we just change the Class4Kids podcast to a podcast about you with a little bit of help for Kids Activity Club owners.
Yeah, I do find myself to be a very, inspirational person. So that would make sense. I mean, there's only so much you can do, but I would like to help others as much as I can.
I mean, numbers have been dwindling, I've noticed, since Stephen sort of did a solo podcast, and that's one of the reasons today I'm looking to replace him. So if you're going to look to come on to this podcast, one thing I'm looking for is great humour from you. If you had to give me your best joke, what would it be?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot there, Rebecca. What do you call a Scottish man who's lost his dog?
No idea.
Douglas.
Okay, I'll take a note of that joke. And Brian, I think what we'll do is review that application. Yeah, we'll be in contact with you.
I wait your call.